Hello students, I hope you are doing good. Today we will start our class with colligative properties. Those properties of the dilute solutions containing non-volatile solute which are directly proportional to the mole fraction of the solute are called colligative properties. So you can understand that the properties which depend upon the mole fraction of the solute in dilute solutions, those properties are called colligative properties. So these properties that do not depend on the nature of the solute, nature of the solvent or nature of the solution, but they only depend upon the number of solute particles. The following properties of dilute solutions containing non-volatile solutes are termed as colligative properties. They are number 1, relative lowering of vapor pressure, elevation in boiling point, depression in freezing point, and osmotic pressure. So let us discuss them one by one. First colligative property is relative lowering of vapor pressure, about which we have discussed in details in our previous class, and we have also derived an equation expressing the same. So this was the expression that we derived and we named it as relative lowering of vapor pressure. So you can see this relative lowering of vapor pressure is equal to the mole fraction of the solute. So it is dependent upon the mole fraction of solute and hence it is known as a colligative property. So now let us proceed to our second colligative property, which is elevation in boiling point. When a non-volatile solute is added to a volatile solvent, then lowering of vapor pressure takes place. Consequently, the boiling point of the solution increases. Now, how the lowering of vapor pressure takes place due to addition of a non-volatile solute in a volatile solvent, we have discussed in details in our previous class. So if you don't remember, please go and watch the previous class's video. So due to this lowering of vapor pressure, the increase in boiling point of the solution takes place. The magnitude of increase in boiling point is called elevation in boiling point. Now since elevation in boiling point is directly proportional to the mole fraction of the solute, hence it is a colligative property. So let us try to depict that by an equation and by plotting graphs. So let us first denote some properties. Let P naught A be the vapor pressure of pure solvent. PA is the vapor pressure of solution. WB be the mass of solute in gram. WA mass of solvent in gram. MB molecular mass of solute in gram. MA molecular mass or molar mass of the solvent in gram. T1 is the boiling point of the pure solvent in Kelvin. T2 is the boiling point of the solution in Kelvin. Now let us try to understand elevation in boiling point graphically. So here I have shown atmospheric pressure, the room temperature I have shown here. This x coordinate is of temperature and this y coordinate is showing the pressure. So I shall represent the vapor pressure of the pure solvent, suppose here P naught A, and definitely the value of PA will be less than P naught A. So I am representing it to be here. Now we know that the boiling point of a liquid is the temperature at which the vapor pressure of the liquid becomes equal to the atmospheric pressure. Now suppose these values of P naught A and PA have been taken at room temperature. So as we increase the temperature, the vapor pressure will definitely increase due to more number of molecules evaporating. So let us draw the curve for the pure solvent first. So as we increase the temperature, the vapor pressure of the solvent increases and finally reaches the atmospheric pressure. So at this temperature, we say that the liquid is boiling. So this is termed as the boiling point of the pure solvent, which we are taking T1. So this is for the solvent. Now if we draw a similar curve for the solution, then again with rise in temperature, the vapor pressure of the solution will increase, and at a temperature it will become equal to the atmospheric pressure. So this temperature is the boiling point of the solution, which is denoted by T2. So here we can definitely see there is a change or a difference in the boiling point. This difference in the boiling point is known as elevation in boiling point, and it is denoted by delta TB. So with the help of this graph, we can see that the boiling point of the solution is greater than the boiling point of the pure solvent. And this happens due to the lowering of vapor pressure on addition of non-volatile solute. Now let us try to derive an equation to represent the same. So this T2 minus T1, which is the delta TB, since it is a colligative property, so it must be directly proportional to the mole fraction of the solute. So delta TB is directly proportional to XB. Now in order to remove this proportionality sign and to equalize it, we have to bring a constant. So here we have denoted the constant with K. So delta TB is equal to KXB. Now mole fraction or XB can be written like this also, K into NB by NB plus NA, whereas NB is the number of moles of the solute and Na is the number of moles of the solvent. Now since we are talking about dilute solutions and colligative properties are always studied using dilute solutions, so for dilute solutions NB is very less than Na, obviously. So therefore NB can be neglected. So in this equation we can neglect NB. So we can write delta TB is equal to K into NB by Na. Or we can write K into WB by MB into MA by WA. Since NB is equal to WB by MB and Na is equal to Wa by Ma. Now for a particular solvent, the value of Ma, that is the molar mass or the molecular mass of the solvent, is a constant. So if we multiply this K, which is also a constant, with Ma, which is again a constant when we are talking about a particular solvent, then the product of K and Ma is also a constant. This constant is represented by Kb. This Kb is also known as molar elevation constant in boiling point. Now delta TB can be written as Kb into Wb by Mb into 1 by Wa. Now this equation, if you see, it is for 1 gram of the solvent. So if we want the same equation to be written for 1000 gram of the solvent, then we can write delta TB is equal to Kb into Wb by Mb into 1000 by Wa. So for 1 gram it is this equation, and for 1000 grams you can simply multiply this equation with 1000. So if you see closely, this equation is the equation for molality. In our previous classes, we have seen the equation for molality, so you can match it from there. So this is the equation for molality, so we can simply write delta TB is equal to KB into M. M represents molality. This constant KB is known as ebullioscopic constant. KB has different values for different solvents, but for a particular solvent, it has a constant value. And for water, the value is around 0.52 Kelvin kg per mole. So I hope this colligative property, elevation and boiling point, is clear. Now let us proceed to the next colligative property, which is depression and freezing point. Now again, due to lowering of vapor pressure on addition of non-volatile solute in a volatile solvent, the freezing point of a solution gets depressed. The magnitude of depression in freezing point is called depression in freezing point and is denoted by delta TF. Now let us plot a graph in order to understand depression in freezing point, keeping the quantity same as we kept in elevation and boiling point. The slight change will be here. The T1 will be the freezing point of the pure solvent and T2 will be the freezing point of the solution. In the previous case, we have taken T1 as the boiling point of the pure solvent, and here in case of depression and freezing point, all other quantities I'm keeping same. Just T1 is now being represented as freezing point of the pure solvent in Kelvin, and T2 is the freezing point of the solution in Kelvin. So let us try to draw or show this depression and freezing point graphically. So again, I have taken this graph. The x coordinate is representing temperature and the y coordinate is representing pressure. Now I am marking the vapor pressure of the pure solvent, which is P naught A, here, and definitely the value of PA will be less than P naught A, so I am marking it somewhere here. Now, as we know that freezing point of a liquid is that temperature at which the vapor pressure of the liquid solvent becomes equal to the vapor pressure of the solid solvent or solid liquid. That means there is an equilibrium established between the solid and the liquid phase of the liquid. That temperature is known as the freezing point of that liquid. So let us start drawing the curve for the pure solvent. Now as we decrease the temperature, the vapor pressure of the liquid decreases, and at a temperature it becomes equal to the vapor pressure of the solid. So this temperature is known as the freezing point of the pure solvent, which I am representing by T1, since here we have taken T1 to be the freezing point of the pure solvent. So I am writing here T1, which is the freezing point of the pure solvent. Now again, the same case happens with the solution. As we decrease the temperature, the vapor pressure decreases and it becomes equal to the vapor pressure of the solid at a quite lower temperature than that of the pure solvent. So this temperature is the freezing point of the solution. So you can see there is a lowering in the freezing point. The freezing point of the pure solvent is greater than that of the freezing point of the solution. So this difference is known as the depression in freezing point, and it is denoted by delta TF. Similarly, as we have represented elevation in boiling point as delta TB, here we are representing the depression in freezing point as delta TF. Now, the derivation for the equation of depression in freezing point, it is similar to that of the elevation in boiling point. So there will be just slight changes in case of depression in freezing point. I am making those changes with a red pen. So in case of boiling point, elevation in boiling point, we have shown T2 minus T1. In this case, since the freezing point of the pure solvent is greater than that of the freezing point of the solution, so here it will be T1 minus T2, and this delta TB will be represented as delta TF. So delta TF, since again it is a colligative property, so it will be directly proportional to XB. Okay, so again delta TF will be equal to KXB. We bring the constant in order to make the equation equal. So we go the same way that we have done in case of elevation and boiling point. Now here we have discussed that the mass of the pure solvent is constant for a particular solvent. It holds true here as well. So again, the product of this K and the molecular mass of the solvent is a constant. Now in this case, this constant is represented as Kf, and it is known as the molar depression in freezing point constant. Now delta TF is equal to Kf into Wb by Mb into 1 by Wa. Again, for 1000 gram solvent, delta TF is equal to Kf Wb by Mb into 1000 by Wa. So delta TB is equal to, delta TF is equal to Kf into M. Since this equation is the equation representing molality, so here delta TB is equal to delta TF is equal to Kf into M. Now Kf is known as the cryoscopic constant. Kb was known as ebullioscopic constant, and Kf is known as the cryoscopic constant. Just as Kb, Kf is has a different values for different solvent, but it has the same value for a particular solvent at a particular temperature. So I hope elevation and boiling point and depression and freezing point, these two colligative properties, you have understood. Now let us proceed to our next colligative property, which is the osmotic pressure, which is denoted by pi. Before discussing about osmotic pressure, let us talk about osmosis. I hope you have already heard about this term osmosis. So this osmosis is defined as the phenomena of movement of solvent particles from a region of lower concentration of solution to a region of higher concentration of the solution through a semi-permeable membrane. So that means in case of solvent, see here I have taken a setup. So here, this side I have taken solvent. and on this side I have taken the solution, and it is being separated by a semi-permeable membrane. So the concentration of the solvent molecules on the solvent side, that means on the pure solvent side, is definitely greater, and the concentration of the solvent molecules on the solution side is less. So osmosis is defined as the transference of the solvent molecules from this region, that means the region of higher concentration of the solvent molecules, to this region, that means to the region of lower concentration of the solvent molecules. That means in this direction the osmosis takes place. When the solvent and when these two solutions are separated by a semi-permeable membrane, or it can be, here I have taken solvent and solution, pure solvent and a solution of that solvent. You can take, or it can be two solutions with different concentration. So whichever solution which has a higher concentration of the solvent molecules, from that solution the solvent particles will move through the SPM towards the solution in which the concentration of the solvent molecules is lower. Now, what do we mean by SPM or semi-permeable membrane? A semi-permeable membrane is a membrane which is selective in nature and permits only the solvent molecules to pass through it, even when the size of the solvent molecules is greater than that of the solute molecules. So you can see that this SPM is a selective membrane which selectively allows the solvent molecules to pass through it, even if the size of the solvent molecules is greater than that of the solute molecules. Then also the SPM will not allow the solute molecules to pass through them, only the solvent molecules passes through them. Now, this is an observation that we can make from different experiments. Maybe in biology you have done an experiment with the potato. So this is an observation that you have made. But let us go into the chemistry of it, like why this happens, why only the solvent molecules transfers from one side to another side of the SPM. So this transference happens due to the pressure difference on both sides of the SPM. So if you see closely, in case of this pure solvent, there is no solute particles present, and in this side of the solution, non-volatile solute is present in the volatile solvent. So definitely we have already discussed that if we add non-volatile solute in a volatile solvent, then there is a lowering of vapor pressure. So on this side of the solvent, that means on the solvent side, the vapor pressure will be definitely greater than that on the solution side, because here non-volatile solutes are present and here they are not present. So the vapor pressure on this side will be greater than the vapor pressure on this side. This difference in the vapor pressure is the driving force of osmosis. So in case of osmosis, this SPM, why it allows only the solvent particles to pass through them, it allows the solvent molecules to pass through them, so that more and more solvent particles, as they enter this solution becomes dilute, and therefore the vapor pressure slowly increases. So this is the driving force. This difference in vapor pressure is the driving force. The solvent molecules will solution side until and unless both the vapor pressure becomes equal. So this difference in vapor pressure being the driving force, if we somehow increase the vapor pressure on this solution side externally by compressing it. If we increase the vapor pressure on this side of the solution and make it equal to the vapor pressure on the solvent side, then we can say that the osmosis will stop. Why? Because the osmosis, the driving force is this pressure difference. So if this pressure difference is not there, then osmosis will not take place. Now at this moment, I will define the osmotic pressure. So osmotic pressure can be defined as the hydrostatic pressure which is developed on the solution side, which is just sufficient to stop the osmosis. Or it can be defined as the critical external pressure applied on the solution to stop the osmosis when the solution is separated through its solvent by an SPM. Or we can say that osmotic pressure may be defined as the critical suction pressure applied on the solvent side to stop the osmosis when the solvent is separated by its solution by an SPM. So I define the osmotic pressure in two ways. First of all, it is the pressure which can be exerted on the solution side, the external pressure which is exerted on the solution side, so as to make the vapor pressure on both sides equal, so that the osmosis just stops. Or we can define osmotic pressure as the suction pressure. That means here we can see that the vapor pressure is greater to the vapor pressure of the solution side. So if we remove some pressure, that means release some pressure from on the surface of this solvent, that means the vapor pressure. So osmotic pressure can be defined as the suction pressure, which when applied on the solvent side, just to make it equal to the vapor pressure of the solution and thus stop the osmosis. So this osmotic pressure or the osmosis itself happens due to the lowering in vapor pressure due to the presence of non-volatile solute in the solution. So osmotic pressure is a colligative property, and therefore it will be directly proportional to the concentration of the solution at a particular temperature, since it is a colligative property. So we can derive an equation to show the osmotic pressure or express the osmotic pressure. So pi, which is denoting the osmotic pressure, is directly proportional to the concentration of the solution, since it is a colligative property. So pi is equal to CRT. So in order to remove this proportionality sign and to equalize this equation, we bring a constant. So here in this case, the constant is the gas constant and the temperature. Since this osmotic pressure is measured at a particular temperature and it varies as the temperature changes. So while we are talking about osmotic pressure, temperature has to be kept constant. So pi is equal to CRT. So C can be denoted by N by V. So N is the number of moles of the solute by the volume of the solution. So so we can bring this V on this side. So pi V is equal to nRT. So if you take a close look, since this pi is osmotic pressure, so simply it is a pressure. So PV is equal to nRT. So this represents, or it is a representation of the ideal gas equation, PV equal to nRT. So pi V is equal to nRT. This expression expresses this osmotic pressure, or we can write it pi V is equal to WB by MB into RT, since N being the number of moles of solute, so definitely we can write WB by MB. So these were our 4 colligative properties. I hope all these 4 colligative properties
are clear to you.
So that's all for today. Thank you and take care.